Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for the rest of 2021. We're going to do a Celtic cross, and we are going to look at what the most important thing that you could be, the most important information for you for the rest of the year is the words that I was looking for. But let's see here, Aries. We're just gonna lay this out and see what comes up for you here, Aries. And I feel like you've been doing a lot of work, Aries, but we'll talk about that in a second. Here in your present situation, you have the Judgment card, some sort of wake-up call, some sort of, waking up to a new understanding is kind of like what I'm getting here with the Judgment card. I'm kind of surprised the Tower didn't come out. I do get more of that revelation type of energy. To me, when the Tower and the Judgment card come out, to me it's not a bad thing, actually. To me it's a good thing. To me it can represent a sudden revelation. It could lead to upheaval like the Tower, where it's like things get shaken up, right? But at the same time, it's like you're waking up to a truth. So, is that really a bad thing? Probably not. But I do feel that you are hearing an inner calling at this time. You're hearing that you need to make some sort of change. Your crossing energy is the Hierophant. So there's some sort of gap here between what you are hearing and feeling, the wake-up call that you're experiencing, and maybe your knowledge, Hierophant, and also the Page of Pentacles in your past position here. So I feel for some of you, it's like you could be feeling called to, get a certain job or start a career, but it's like the knowledge gap exists with this energy. For others, this could be you trying to get back into a relationship, by the way. I am getting that for some of you, not all of you, but just for a small percentage of you. And, for some of you, marriage could be an issue. You could be married to a person thinking about, getting a divorce, or maybe you're dealing with a person where they want a divorce and you don't. I kind of get that feeling here for you, Aries. On this Hierophant, and I do feel like this is just part of the challenge. In the area of your thoughts, you have the Ten of Wands. I was getting a lot of hard work. If you're dealing with a relationship or a marriage where the other person is wanting to walk away, I feel like you're kind of looking at all the burdens, all the things that you have been through with this person. And that could be part of the reason why you don't want to leave, obviously, right? But I feel like you're the one that's carrying all the burdens. It's like you're the one that's carrying all the weight in the first place if this is a relationship. I feel like you need to realize that. It's like they carry nothing. So is that a fair relationship? I would say no with this Ten of Wands here. For others, I feel that right now you are just burdened mentally here. And even in the area of your foundation, you have the Ace of Wands. I feel like the Ace of Wands is saying it would be a good time for you to focus on one thing. Ace of Wands is my favorite card in the tarot. To me, it is like the spark. It's just that one chance, that one shot that we need to be successful in life. I feel both ways about it for you, Aries. I feel that you are hoping to reduce your burden. You're hoping to have one wand, not 10 wands, right? I feel like you're hoping to lighten the load. I feel like you're hoping life gets lighter in general over the next few months. And I feel like you're hoping to find something that's inspiring to you, something that wakes you up in the morning, right? Something that isn't just a false start like the Ace of Wands in reverse. So I feel like you're hoping to find something that kind of motivates you with this Ace of Wands energy. And I feel like you need to kind of get started here. But I also feel like there is, what I was going to also say is I also feel there is a spark coming. I feel like there is that moment of inspiration where you're like, I know what to do. I know what direction to take my business. I know what direction to take my career, whatever it is that you're, working towards, or I know what direction to take my love life. Then, I feel like you need to grab onto that spark, and I feel like you need to build it up into a much bigger fire, basically, with the Ace of Wands. But I do feel pretty good about this. In the past, you have the Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles can be a very nitpicky energy. It can be too focused on the kind of the tiny little details, and it's kind of not seeing the bigger picture. And I do feel that in the past that could have been an issue. Even in relationships, maybe in your relationships, maybe you or your partner, or maybe both of you were too nitpicky. Maybe you were too focused on things that just didn't matter, or maybe you allowed certain things to get to you, or maybe they did. Again, I'm not picking sides here, Aries, just so you know, and I'm not calling you out either, but it takes two to tango. tango, as they say. And so I would say here is like, I feel like that could have been some of the parts of the challenge here. Also, education. I feel like you have learned a lot about things. Hierophant, this card here, and maybe it's time for you to like put some of your knowledge into practice. I do always get this feeling, Judgment, Page of Pentacles. I feel like some of you have like hidden knowledge inside of you, or you have something that you just don't realize how valuable it is. I feel for some of you, this could be an experience. Maybe you grew up a certain way and now you've accomplished something. It's like, I feel like there's knowledge there, right? It's like, there's something valuable to somebody. So I am getting something that some of you might need to like share your experience with other people, or something along those lines, because it could be very valuable. In the area of the near future, you have the Nine of Pentacles. Love it. Abundance, success, pre-Empress energy here, Aries as well. Did I say Aquarius? I hope I haven't been saying Aquarius this whole time. Aries, whatever. But I feel like there's a lot of abundance coming in for you. I feel like you're feeling very ambitious as well and very focused. This falcon right here that she is holding on the Nine of Pentacles represents ambition and focus and being very focused. But it's like, again, I feel it's the spark. It's like something is sparking inside of you here, Aries, and it's a much bigger, it's like you're being called to something much bigger. I'm pretty sure I said this to you in one of your recent readings, where, I've been getting this for you, like the past 3 readings that I've done for you, Aries, where it's like you're expanding, but it's like you're expanding your following. You're expanding the people that listen to you, whether this means you're getting a raise or a promotion that puts you in a leadership position. If you have your own business, you could be attracting more people into the business. But I feel like there's some sort of expansion here. It's like you're kind of like growing it bigger, is what I would say to you. I'm pretty sure that in your last reading, the example that I gave is like, I do tarot. But it's like tarot can only get so big. So it's like now I'm starting another channel where I'm talking about like other things like law of attraction and other stuff. It's like I'm expanding my circle. I'm not saying this to brag. I'm just saying this because I feel like you're doing something similar. Maybe not on YouTube, but maybe you have a business and you're kind of adding more products that attract new people in. Maybe, you're doing something here is the way that I see it. I feel like there's a major focus on your home with the Nine of Pentacles as well. Again, there's this snail right here. Snails carry their homes on their back, and the Nine of Pentacles is about luxury. It's about making your home a nicer place, and really, I'm a big fan of like cleaning up your home or rearranging your house, because it can totally change the energy and it can help in a lot of ways. Next, in the area of the next few months, you have the Strength card. I do feel like you're gonna have to be patient. I feel a lot of you are kind of like building things, and it's just going to take a little bit of time. So I would just be patient with the Strength card. And I do also feel that like I would keep your like anger in check here, especially if you're like going through a divorce or something like that. Don't let the other person win, right? It's like I feel like this is like needing to kind of keep your emotions in check. That's like the only thing I'm getting there on the Strength card is what I'm talking about. Next, in the area of your close relationships, you have the Eight of Wands. So very social energy. Eight of Wands to me is the card of socializing, being social, spending time with other people, all sorts of stuff. So I do feel like you could be like socializing, spending time with other people, and kind of spending a lot of time in social energy. Eight of Wands originally was like the arrows of love as well. So if you desire to have love, the Eight of Wands could say socialize. It could say communicate with other people, but it's like more about telling the universe what you want. I feel like some of you need to get specific about the about like the type of person that you desire. So how do we tell the universe what we want? Well, number one, you can literally write it down, and you can get out my favorite here, a yellow sheet of paper. And you can write down exactly the things that you want in a person. But the other thing that we can do is we can not become the person that we want. But I always say it's like, it's kind of hard to describe without knowing exactly what you want, Aries. But because we all want different things. But it's like there are probably certain things that the type of person you want does. So it kind of like says, do those things. Like, do you want someone who's healthy? Be healthy. Do you want someone who goes to the gym? Go to the gym. Do you want someone who is successful? Do things that make you successful. It doesn't mean you have to be successful. It doesn't mean you have to be like perfectly fit or anything like that. It just is about kind of like stepping into the energy. That's how we tell the universe what we want. So, that's what I would do here with the Eight of Wands. And I feel like it'll just lead to more, success as well. Next, in the area of your future feelings, you have the Three of Pentacles. I like this. For you, I feel differently about this. I feel like you're more open to co-creating. It's almost like with this the snail. I almost just said this snail card, the Nine of Pentacles. I feel like you're more open. I feel like you're more willing to open up to other people. You're not being closed off. So maybe in the past you were coming at things from the place of competition, right, in like work, business, or even love. But now I feel like you're more focused on co-creation with the Three of Pentacles. Honestly, I've been saying it for weeks. I mean, to me, if you look at the astrology is like rewarding co-creative experiences. If we work with other people, then we're going to be a lot more successful than if we don't. I also feel like you're getting on the same page with people in all your relationships, and this is also going to lead to a lot more success. And finally, your outcome is the Six of Swords. Improvements. I feel like you're kind of like moving away from the choppy waters. The Hierophant is a rite of passage, by the way, the Hierophant card. The Six of Swords is a rite of passage as well. But here, the Hierophant is crossing you. Here, it's like you are finally getting to the other side. So if you have been experiencing, a dark night of the soul, some sort of rite of passage, something difficult you have to go through to get to the other side, I feel like your outcome is you are overcoming, some sort of rite of passage. You're getting past it. So it's like you're kind of earning your stripes here, Aries. So I definitely like that. But we're just going to clarify a few of these cards here, and we're just going to see what comes up. I mostly want to clarify right here, this Nine of Pentacles. You have the Five of Wands here. Five of Wands is a card of competition. But again, Five of Wands, to me, those people are learning. They're not fighting on the card. They are learning how to fight. There are a lot of learning cards in your reading here. So I would say bridging any educational gaps would be very beneficial. I'm a big fan of doing that anyway. I've talked about this before. In our current, Saturn was in Capricorn a couple of years ago for 3 years. And so it's going to take 30 years for it, or I should say it's going to take 27 years from now for it to enter into Capricorn again. But what does this mean? What it means is we're still dealing with the Saturn Capricorn energy. Saturn in Capricorn says the more you learn, the more you earn. And that doesn't mean just money either. It could be maybe you want love. We have to earn love as well, right? It's like, the only people that just love us are our parents for the most part. Nobody just loves you in love. We have to earn it, right? And so what I would say here is don't be afraid to learn how to get something. With the Strength card here, boom. You gotta be kidding me. Like, what was I saying? I said I'm surprised that the Tower hasn't shown up because this feels like a revelation to me. I feel like a lot of you are going to be going through a major wake-up call. You're going to be having a major revelation over the next few months. This is not something that's to be scary. It could be scary in the sense that, yeah, I do feel like there could be some upheaval in your life. What I mean by that is there could be some people who don't agree with the changes you're making in your life. There could be some people who, I don't know. It's like anytime you make a change, people get upset, right? So, people don't like change. But at the same time, it's like if you change, that's where the growth is. It's like anytime I make a change on this channel, somebody gets pissed off, somebody gets upset, right? And it's not that I don't care, but I just don't care. I don't listen to those people because it's like people want to keep you small, right? This is the thing, Aries. This is your answer right here, is that I do feel there's this constricting energy where it's like people want to keep you small. Why? Because it keeps you around them. It keeps them safe, right? And so, this is something that everybody has to deal with in life, is like people want to keep us small so that, number one, they can keep us to themselves, basically. And number two, it forces them to look at themselves and be like, why am I not growing? Why am I not improving? I feel that a lot of you, Aries, pretty badass, because I feel like you're going to be having a lot of those experiences over the next few months where it's like people might kind of, that could be the upheaval that you're experiencing. People don't like the change, but you're growing. They're not. That's all that matters. With the Eight of Wands here, you have the Ten of Wands. Yeah, it's going to be a burden, like I said, in your relationships, but, I would keep pushing. With the Three of Pentacles here, you have the Five of Swords. I would take a risk to work with other people. Five of Swords can be selfish, and it can be a card of like trying to do things on your own. I'm not calling you selfish, by the way, but I would like open up to teamwork. For your outcome, you have the Hangman here. New perspective. You're seeing a new way of living. here, Aries. For some of you, I feel like it's almost like you're waking up to a way of life that you didn't know existed. That is pretty freaking powerful. I'm going to leave it there. Looks really good. So thank you for being here, Aries. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your Sun, Moon, and Rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy the rest of the year.